In this video, you're going to learn how to set up goals in Google Analytics and why this is probably the most important step for you to complete when you are setting up a Google Analytics account. So goals measure how often users complete specific actions on your website or app. And a goal represents a completed activity called a conversion that contributes to the success of your business. So for example, making a purchase for an e-commerce site, that could be a specific activity that will really contribute to the success of that e-commerce business. Completing a game level is a specific activity that will contribute to the success of that mobile gaming app because it shows that people are engaged, and potentially then you can get them to upgrade to the paid version or just continue to advertise to the users in the mobile gaming app. And submitting a contact information form is a specific activity that contributes to the success of a marketing or lead generation site because you can then contact those people by email or phone and market to them, or just send out blog posts to them and can keep them continued in the site and grow your audience. So hopefully now you understand the importance of setting up goals in Google Analytics. And I think it's important to know that if you don't set up goals, all you can measure is how many users are coming to your site. And obviously you could be focused on growing that. But if those users are not completing these specific activities that are growing your business, then you're not going to see any growth. So that's why it's so important to set them up. And also, as you can see now, the goals that you set up are really dependent on the type of business that you have, and that's why goals are not set up by default in Google Analytics. That's why you need to go and set them up and tell Google Analytics the specific activities that you want to track. Setting up goals in Google Analytics is very simple. What you want to do is come down into the admin section, then come up across to goals, and then go ahead and click on add a new goal. Now you've two options here when setting up your goals. You can select from the template here, or you can create a custom goal which basically just leaves everything blank and you set it up from scratch. But I would recommend that you have a look down through this template list here because they've pre-filled the name of the goal and also the type of goal, which I'll show you in a second. So this just helps speed up the process. So you can see there's lots of different types of goals here that you can select from, such as make a payment, register online, schedule a visit, donate, create an account, etc. So what I would say about making a payment is that if you have an e-commerce site, instead of setting up this specific goal, it's better for you to enable e-commerce tracking, and I've got a separate video on that. However, if say you are a business that sells maybe one or two products, or you sell one-to-one coaching or maybe a course, it will be very easy for you to measure how many people complete that action by setting up a revenue goal here. So for this video, I'm going to take the example of setting up a newsletter sign up. And even though the name is different, actually the process to setting this up is very similar to the other types of goals listed out here. So just select your goal and then click continue. So we can see the name of the goal is pre-filled and also the type of goal is pre-selected as well, which is a destination goal. And as I said, the type of goal is actually going to be very similar whether it's an account creation or a payment completed or a donation made or a newsletter sign up, because what you are really tracking is the destination that people arrive at after completing that goal. So for example, a thank you page. So after they sign up to my email list, they'll hit a thank you page, and I want to track how many people reach that page because that will allow me to measure how many people completed that specific activity that's important to my business. Now the next step is to input our destination, and this, as it says here, is the app screen name or web page URL that people arrive at after completing the specific activity that we want them to, such as making an online payment, donation, or signing up to your email list. Now in the vast majority of cases, this is just going to be a thank you page like it suggests here. And if you haven't got a thank you page set up in your site, just go into the back end, set that up, and then paste that in there. So by setting up this goal, what we will know that is every people who's arrive at that thank you page We know they can only have arrived there if, for example, they've signed up to my email list, and then I can really track how many people are doing that. Now, there are some optional options here to add a value or add a funnel. I'd say for the moment you can just skip that. And what you want to do is just re-verify the goal or verify the goal to make sure that it's working. You should see a small percentage like this if you've had data over the last 7 days. And then you can just go ahead and click save. So now I can see that the goal is set up and also that it is active. And also I can see that I have 18 goals left. So you have 20 goals for each Google Analytics property that you set up. So although we've set up a goal to track newsletter signups, the process is almost going to be identical for people who register for an account or make a payment or online donation, because you're always looking at how many people reached a specific thank you page or checkout page. So to recap, in this video, you have learned how to set up goals in Google Analytics and also why it is probably the most important step for you to complete when you set up a Google Analytics account.